Just when I was thinking the worst thing that you can buy off of the shelf is cat or dog food, apparently it's baby food that is just something that is not up to snuff at all. More than half of baby foods in the United States fail WHO nutrition standards. And yeah, normally I see something designated by the WHO as, just the standard to uphold. I'll just go ahead and throw that study out the window. But in this case, I mean, should probably pay attention. Okay, this is a fairly universal standard regardless of where it's coming from. Whether it's high sodium, too much sugar, or misleading labels. Nearly 60% of infant and toddler foods sold in the United States aren't as nutritious as they appear, according to a new study published on the 21st of August in Nutrients. Now, the research found that most of these products fail to meet the nutritional guidelines and recommendations set out by the WHO. The 651 products analyzed, 70% did not meet the protein requirements, 44% exceeded the recommended sugar levels. 1 in 4 products also fell short of calorie requirements, and 1 in 5 exceeded the recommended sodium limits. Holy shit. The name and brands of the foods were not disclosed. I mean, why not? If you're going to study all this stuff, shouldn't you let people know what exactly is worth your dollars and which isn't? I'd imagine they probably helped co-sponsor this study. But senior author Elizabeth Dunford, an assistant professor at the Department of Nutrition at the University of North Carolina, told Global News that some of the products that they looked at were sold in Canadian grocery stores too. Well, yeah, of course, it's North American products, I would imagine. You do have some of the same brands. I'm assuming Canada is more closely linked to the United States than any other country with labeling. Yeah, except for we got the stupid French-Canadian side of things. But anyways, labeling and nutrition are vital, Dunford argued, because early childhood is a crucial period of rapid growth. When taste preferences and dietary habits are established, these early choices can pave the way for chronic diseases like obesity, diabetes, and some cancers later in life. Time-poor parents are increasingly choosing convenient foods, unaware that many of these products lack key nutrients needed for their child's development, and tricked into believing that they are healthier than they really are. Researchers argued that despite U.S. health guidelines advising against feeding infants foods with added sugar and high sodium, infants and toddlers worldwide, including in America, often fail to meet these recommendations. In Canada, infant and toddler foods are regulated under the Safe Food for Canadians Act, requiring companies to properly label the nutrient content of their products, including calories, sodium, and sugar levels. But still, they can go ahead and label it, but if you're feeding your kid that stuff, hey man, might just end up having useless information on top of useless calories. Infant foods for ages 6 to 12 months are subject to maximum sodium levels. However, other nutritional guidelines, such as those on for sugar and fat, are only recommended by Canada's Nutrition for Healthy Term Infants guidelines. Well, that's an interesting revelation. The problem with recommendations is that there's no benchmark for what is allowed in products. There is definitely no limit, and one of the things I'd like to see is that these products don't meet some standards for health performance, such as sodium limits. If a product does not meet that benchmark, then that product cannot put the claim on the product. Exactly. She explained that many companies add a noise of claims, yes, to their packaging, such as no sugar added, made in the peanut-free facility, all of that other, yellow label, red label stuff that they can stick on the front of it to just go, hey guys, this is organic. Well, sort of. The brand name of the ingredients that we have on there is organic. They're totally treated with pesticides, but it says organic, so that's fine. There's green lettering that's on there. That's associated with healthy stuff, right? Right? There's just so many tricks of the trade that are out there, and they're all just so skeevy. But yeah, she said labels like no sugar added or organic, there you go, can create the impression that product is overall nutritious, even though it still may be high in unhealthy ingredients like sodium, fats, or sugar. Yeah, because if you think you're just getting a fruit paste of some form or fashion, and that's just going to be healthy, right? Could end up being loaded to the gills with fructose and other added sugars on top of that, masquerading as a healthy alternative food source, but in actuality, it's just as bad as feeding your baby a whole-ass Snickers bar. So know what's going into your kid's mouth. Because these big companies, they don't actually care. Not one bit. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.